to do this program every year, and every year he used to read certain verses from the Bible, and we used to appreciate how certain devotional principles are universal and they are there in our tradition also in Krishna consciousness. How Prabhupada has taught us and the way our Acharyas have presented Krishna consciousness to us. So fortunately, once last year Tapas Prabhu had sent me the list of verses, and he had asked me to read the verses, and then we had a group discussion. I think different devotees were sharing how in Krishna consciousness also we have similar principles. So we'll try to do the same today. I have the list of verses, I have the Bible, New Testament with me. So we all can sit here without showing our back to the deities, and it's like a discussion. And so I'll read a verse, and then we will discuss, churn how it's also there in the Vaishnava philosophy based on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and you can also share stories of Acharya's lives which show that those principles of how to apply these principles. So these principles can even help us get deeper in our devotion to Krishna. So we will see them how our Acharya, so that we can draw some meaningful conclusion. Namo Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the first verse is from chapter 5, 3, and it goes like this. By the way, this copy of Bible, one Christian just gifted to me. I was going on an elevator to my university, and this young boy, he says, would you like to have a Bible? Like we distribute Bhagavad Gita. I was inspired that we should do like this guy is doing. Anyways, so
did he ask for donation?
he said, if you wish, you can give, otherwise you can just keep it.
So he'll learn from ISKCON.
Yeah, we also do like that. So this verse is, he said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So any reflections on those who are poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven? What does this mean, and how do we see similar principles in our tradition?
About poor, I remember only Akinchana Gochara.
Yeah.
But here it says that poor in spirit, it means that not enough spirituality. I don't understand.
No, he is saying poor in spirit, for them is the kingdom of God. Those who are poor in spirit.
But it cannot mean poor in spirit from a spiritual point
Yeah,
of view.
yeah.
It must mean from a
Those who believe that they are poor. Like
Like
Akinchan, humble.
humble. Yeah.
So meek and humble.
Okay.
Like Queen Kunti says in Srimad Bhagavatam, this Janmeshwar Shuta Shivi Edaman Badam Sman Nevar Hakti Adidatume Tvam Akinchana Gochara. That Krishna is the property of those who are poor. That doesn't mean who are literally poor, because King Yudhishthira was the richest, he was the king of the whole world. But still he was Akinchan because he believed himself to be completely dependent on Krishna. Whatever I have is Krishna's mercy. And that is the spirit of being poor. that I am completely humbly dependent on Krishna. So Jesus also taught this. Only the meek and humble shall inherit the kingdom of God. And Prahlad Maharaj also said similar principles in Bhagavatam, that humility is the first step to devotion. And then the next is like this. Now I am not sure if I have the understanding of each of them, so you are free to share, but I am just reading this. Salt and light. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot.
So this is like we have in the Bhagavad Gita mantra. So they have similar principle. Like this is like the mantra. Do they have purpose for us?
No. It's
Only
just the words.
message of
Yeah.
the verses.
But we are
But
discussing the purpose.
I think they have like they're also discussing. They have preachers and they give purpose, but they don't have written
in the book.
in the
Okay.
book. Yeah, but of course they discuss.
Read it once more.
So
You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. This is very close to what Prabhupada gives example many times, that a soul is like for example, a screw in a big machine, and the screw is useful as well as soon as it is part of the machine. But when the screw comes out of the machine, it is useless, worth throwing out. Or the fire, when the spark is close to the fire, then it is valuable, it has heat and light. When it moves away from the fire, it loses its essence and it gets extinguished. So when we are away from Krishna, we are of no use. This is what I understand.
Yeah, to not be connected.
Yeah.
Assume we are not connected with God or Krishna, then we are like salt that loses its saltiness.
Yeah. And this principle is also explained like dharma. In the book Dharma, Prabhupada explained. Yeah. The meaning of dharma, right?
Yeah, it's the quality, like the natural quality of something.
Yeah.
The true quality.
Like salt has no meaning if it is not salty.
Yeah.
Salt's nature is to be salty. So the Atma's nature is devotional service to Krishna. So if we lose that thing, then we are disconnected with our own dharma.
Exactly, that's our constitutional position.
Yeah.
It's our completely natural constitutional position.
And then we become useless.
If we forget that.
Yeah. Okay. Next is 5.17. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Any thoughts come to your mind when you hear this?
When Prabhupada came to New York,
Exactly.
he said, I will not change your religion or something. I will, what was his name?
Remind you that you forgot.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
forgotten something.
Yeah.
One reporter asked Prabhupada, why have you come to our country to convert us? We already have our religion. Prabhupada said, I'm not here to convert you, I'm here to remind you what you have forgotten, true love for God. So it's not about conversion, it's about reminding the essence of love for God.
Can you read it once more?
Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them.
Yeah.
So Prabhupada said to devout Christians, you should become a better Christian. Follow the principles that Jesus has taught, and you will become a better Christian. So he didn't come, he was reminding them of these principles. Similarly, Jesus is saying, I am not abolishing the prophets and I am just fulfilling that. Okay, next is 6.19. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. I don't know what it means. It's a contextual statement actually. True and false prophets is the name of the. So every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Okay, I'll read the 2-3 verses, then we will understand it. Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus by their fruit you will recognize them all. Okay.
Be careful so you don't get entangled by some cheater, spiritual cheater. There are many so-called spiritualists or transcendentalists who actually are cheating people.
Yeah.
I don't know, there may be many different.
Yeah, this is clear from this.
I was thinking that traditionally the symbol of a false guru is Putana.
Yeah.
She's coming like very nice, very sweet.
It's so difficult to recognize a genuine guru in today's age, but he's saying from the fruit you can identify what are the results. Like Prabhupada said that before I came to the West, there were hundreds of translations of Bhagavad Gita existing, but no one dedicated their life to Krishna. But after reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, millions and thousands of people started dedicating their life to Krishna. So by the fruit we know the effect. Sometimes people have read Bhagavad Gita and they reached conclusion that Krishna is just a metaphorical figure. Krishna never existed, and it represents something, some principle, and Pandavas represent the 5 senses, and the army represents the war and the field and all these speculations. So
everything becomes like symbols.
Yeah, and then there is no devotion for Krishna because you don't even believe Krishna exists. So be aware of false prophets. Okay, next one is very nice, 6.19. Oh. Yeah. This is very important. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break it and steal.
Don't be attached to this material world.
Yeah.
It's often compared to the railway station. We should not make it comfortable. It's just transitional period when we are here.
Yes. The treasure of this world, if we earn a lot of money, it will be taken away one day, either by thieves or by relatives, or when we die, it will be taken away. But whatever spiritual assets we are gathering, it is our eternal asset, which is going to stay with us even after our death, and no one can steal it.
Yeah, 240. 240.
Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Words?
I don't know the English. I denna strävan avtar inget och inget går förlorat. Även små framsteg på denna vägen skiljer mot den värsta fruktan.
Okay, what does that mean?
There is no loss on this way.
It's a very...
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that this spiritual path, there is no loss.
No. Exactly.
Every gain is an eternal gain.
Every step is good.
Yeah. Any little service, any chanting, anything we are doing is all eternal gain. So it is worth investing in. Okay, next one is 6.24. No one can serve two. This is from the Bible, not Bhagavad Gita.
No one can serve two masters.
Yeah. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will love, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money.
Cannot serve Krishna and Maya.
Yeah. Krishna Surya sa Maya hai andhakar, jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya radhikar. This is. If we face the sun, we won't see the shadow. If we face the shadow, we won't see the sun. So we cannot be on the two boats at the same time.
They often use the word mammon in the Bible. They often use the word mammon for material money or material things.
Yeah.
Like Maya almost. Mammon.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that one has to be bereft of all the money, but one has to use the money in Krishna's service, basically. Money in the spirit of devotion, not in a spirit of greed. Next is, related to this, Jesus also said, either be hot or be cold. If you are lukewarm, I'll spit you out.
Yeah.
So which means either be
Devoted.
a materialist or be a serious spiritual practitioner. Don't be lukewarm.
Don't linger around.
Yeah.
Don't be indifferent.
Yeah, don't be
Indifferent.
casual or
Yeah.
what,
Do whatever.
complacent.
Yeah, that's a kind of impersonalism, to be independent, to be indifferent. It's like, or nihilism, nothing but matter.
Yeah. So, okay, next is 6.43.
So do we have anything similar in Bhagavad Gita to this verse?
This one, no one can serve two masters. Either you, Krishna
No.
says,
The next one you said.
it is the same verse.
Okay.
Two masters means Jesus is saying money and God. You
Yeah.
can't serve both
Both at
together.
the same time.
So Krishna says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja in the 18.67. Sarva dharman parityajya. 66. Give up all varieties of religion and dharmas and everything. Surrender to me alone, Krishna says. So you can't have divided intelligence. Then you cannot serve anything properly. 6.43.
No good, three bad, yes.
43, there is no verse. 6 times 10.
6.43 is there, no? The 300 fruit.
Can you read?
Yeah, it's like no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit.
Okay, we read
For
that.
each tree is known by its own fruit. That is 643.
We
That is what
read
we
that.
have
read
read.
it.
So now we come to 7th one, 7th chapter. I don't know what do they call Matthew 7.
Yeah.
And
7 dot?
the title is Judging Others. And it's the first one, 7.1.
7.1.
Do not judge or you too will be judged.
Do not judge or you can.
So, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, when you point finger on somebody, three fingers are pointing at you.
Yeah.
We point to someone, but actually three fingers are pointing at
Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's guru, he said, if you are seeing lot of faults in others, introspect deeply and you will see those same faults exist in yourself. So first correct them rather than focusing on faults of others.
Correct yourself,
Yeah,
self-righteousness and self-evaluation.
yeah. And also, I don't know, I have this experience in life, I don't know if you have this, that if I judged people for something, I was put into same situation and tested thoroughly.
Exactly, I also felt
Yes.
in multiple stages of my life I felt
Yeah.
same thing. When I was in school and college, some senior of mine failed in a particular subject and
You mock him.
then I thought that's so easy, how can you not pass it? And next year I was in the same situation.
Yeah, it happened with me also. Like some days I was a morning program in charge in my ashram in India, and I would sometimes be very
Sleep late.
judgmental. This
Okay.
devotee didn't wake up today on time for Mangal Aarti. He's a Maya, he's in Maya, he's material.
Yeah.
But now I see my struggles and I am humbled.
Maybe you are in mind.
I think it's very dangerous to meditate upon others' faults,
Yeah.
because you take it up yourself.
It comes to
Yes,
ourselves.
it's like it's contagious actually.
Yeah.
It's,
It is more encouraging the self-examination.
Especially for devotees, because Krishna loves them.
Yeah.
It's like they don't take the offense maybe, but Krishna takes.
Yeah. So Krishna will make sure we learn our lesson.
Self-examination.
Okay, 7.7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Mataji, we are last year reading from the Bible and reflecting how we have similar principles taught by our Acharyas, Prabhupada, Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, our Vaishnava philosophy. So this is, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you.
be enthusiastic in spiritual life.
Yeah.
Be eager.
Yeah, so he says seek and then you will find. It's not that, let me just go with the flow and just things will come to me and I will advance when the time comes, I'll naturally. We have to make the effort, whether it is material or spiritual life, we have to make the effort. If we want to advance spiritually, we have to seek. We
Yeah.
have to really be enthusiastic, eager
Yeah.
to apply, to practice it. So complacency again will not help. Okay, next is 8.21. Another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. Okay, I have to read the context to understand. The title is The Cost of Following Jesus. When Jesus saw the crowd around him, he gave orders to cross to the other side of the lake. Then a teacher of the law came to him and said, Teacher, I'll follow you wherever you go. Jesus replied, Foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. But Jesus told him, Follow me and let the dead bury their own dead.
And like for the devotees, they don't have to, there are few devotees, so they don't have to perform their dharma like towards their family and society. They can just serve the Lord.
This is a principle in our Vedic texts also. There is one verse, it says, Yatha taror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatsandra bhujopashakha. If we water the root, then the whole tree is nourished. But we don't have to water each and every leaf. Just water the root. Or similarly, just feed the stomach through the mouth and all the body parts will get energy. You don't have to separately feed each body part. So when we come to this world, we have obligations to many people. Devarshi bhutapta ninam pitrinam. Different devas, demigods, rishis who have given us the scriptures and knowledge, our ancestors, and people in general who are helping us in so many ways. It's impossible to repay all of them. If you try to do one, somebody will be missed out. And if you just keep calculating, have to pay this debt, it's so complicated and difficult. But if we simply dedicate our life to serving Krishna, everything else is taken care. Even if you miss something here and there, it is not taken into serious account. Because we are watering the root.
There is this famous story in Chaitanya Lila, Srivas Thakur. In Srivas Thakur's house, somebody dies, I don't remember now.
Yeah, his son.
His son dies. And he doesn't want to interrupt the kirtan. He doesn't say anything to
Yeah.
Chaitanya. It's a kind of...
That's a very advanced platform where a person, his son died. Lord Chaitanya was doing kirtan at his home. His son died. The news came to him, and he said to them, his wife and everybody, just keep quiet, don't make a noise. Let Lord Chaitanya's kirtan go on uninterrupted. So this is like one pointed devotion that pleasing Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, that's the goal of my life. Nothing else matters. We can't artificially imitate this platform. So we have to know our level of surrender. If we have that level of faith and surrender, we can transcend all worldly responsibilities. But if we don't have that level, and if we prematurely give it up, then it is sinful. So we have to,
Be mindful.
know our level and practice accordingly.
Don't be artificial.
Don't be artificial. Be real.
But we can aim at it. At one day we reach that level of surrender and faith.
Really good that you gave this disclaimer to don't be artificial and don't give it up prematurely, otherwise people will think.
Yeah. Sometimes we hear very high principles from Srimad Bhagavatam. Like there was King Rantidev. He gave up, like he was just sacrificing even at the cost of his own life. He was doing fasting for a long time, I think, and then it was time for fast breaking. There was some famine or something, very less food left in his kingdom. He was supposed to take his meal after long fasting, and then somebody came, a beggar came. I am hungry, please give me, there is famine. He gave to them. Then there was some food again brought, and somebody else came, a jackal came, he gave to the jackal. Kept sacrificing. After that, no food was left for him, and he was almost on the verge of dying. And I think a crow or something, eagle, something came that I'm also your citizen, I'm hungry, give me something. So he cut the flesh of his own body and gave for eating. So then the devatas came and they said, it was we who were coming in disguise just to test you, and we are so impressed to see your surrender and devotion. While he was giving the flesh of his voice, praying to Krishna, Krishna, I am so fortunate that you have given me opportunity to sacrifice my life for others. So these very high principles we cannot imitate, but
It will take time.
yeah, one day we can hope to reach there, pray to reach there.
Yeah, because it can be misunderstood, for example, if somebody dies, and I mean, a devotee is not heartless.
Yeah.
A real devotee is very compassionate and can have very deep spiritual feelings for things also. So one has to understand it in the proper context.
And philosophy can sometimes be misunderstood, misapplied. If we want to be irresponsible, then we can take the shelter of these principles and say, although I am not completely surrendered to Krishna, but I don't want to do my worldly things also, and I can claim myself to be. So we have to really introspect, take guidance.
There is a principle to follow, not to imitate.
Yeah.
If you are not on that level, then it will be fall down for you if you imitate.
Yeah. Anukaran and Anusaran, they are two different things.
Yeah.
So we come to the next one, 8.20. We already read this one. Then 8.24. Jesus calms the storm. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping.
Can you take it once more? I didn't hear.
Okay, I'll read 2-3 verses so we know the context. Then he got into the boat and his disciples followed him. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, Lord, save us, we are going to drown. He replied, You of little faith, why are you so afraid? Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. One of the things that I think of is again Shivas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya asked Shivas Thakur that I don't see you going for doing a job or earning or anything. Then how are you maintaining yourself and your family? you're doing kirtan all day. How are you maintaining yourself? And he clapped 3 times. And Lord Chaitanya asked, what is this clapping 3 times? He said, if I clap 3 times and all my needs are not supplied, I will commit suicide, go to Ganga and commit. He had that much faith that just taking shelter of Krishna's name, everything else will be supplied to me. So Jesus is also sleeping, storm was coming. Similarly, there was a World War II going on, I think. World War II, 1945, right? 1939 to 45.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada was in Kolkata and there were bombs being dropped. And Prabhupada was peacefully frying kachodis to offer to Krishna. And people are running here and there, people are anxious and afraid, and Prabhupada was peaceful. Now this bomb is manifestation of Krishna. If he wants to take my life, let him take. If he wants to protect me, no one can kill me. So this is again very high level of devotion. We cannot imitate. But again, we should not be too much dependent on our own arrangements. At least we can practice little faith in Krishna. That he will protect me, he will maintain me when time comes.
Every time.
Yeah. So, any thoughts? Any other thoughts? Otherwise, we can go ahead. 9.9. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. Follow me, he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's home, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but those who are ill."
Patita Pavana,
Oh yeah. Sometimes,
Savior of the Savior of the fallen.
yeah. So he was, sometimes also people say, that why are you, sometimes they say to some ISKCON gurus also, why are you going and preaching to these big Hollywood stars and, politicians? They are anyway rich, they don't need, go to the poor, try to help them. But my Guru Maharaj said, they are equally poor or maybe more poor than the poor, because they are bereft of spirituality. They have become so materialistic, many of them, that they have lost their spiritual roots. It may look like they are celebrities on the media smiling all the time, but internally many of them are the most miserable species.
Like Ravan.
Huh?
Like Ravan.
Yeah, like Ravan was also living in golden, but he needed the mercy actually.
And it's like from another perspective, like Lord Nityananda, he goes to Yaga and Madai,
Yeah,
who is the worst rascals in the world,
yeah.
but he's giving them his compassion and blessings ultimately.
There
Because
was one
he
Brahman.
has a taste in going to the most fallen.
Yeah. Similarly,
There was one
Prabhupada, right?
Brahmana, he was classmate with Gauranga in Navadvip when he was young. But then in Navadvip pastimes, he saw, he was very attached to Lord Chaitanya. But when he saw Nityananda, he was dressed with silk and flower garlands and ornaments and I don't know what, so many things. And his teeth were red of this chewing, what is that?
Betel nuts.
Yeah. And so at that time Lord Chaitanya had gone to Jagannath Puri. But this Brahmana, he was thinking, I will go, I will meet Lord Gauranga and I will ask him about Nityananda, what kind of person he is, They say he is, renounced or whatever, but how can he be with all this equipment on him and like that? So he went to Jagannath Puri, and finally he got darshan of Lord Gauranga, and he started to ask, I have some doubts, and is it the right time, the right place? Would you allow me to ask some questions to you? He was very humble and very cultured. And Lord Gauranga, he reciprocated, and so he told him, I'm seeing this Lord Nita, I see this Nityananda, he's dancing and chanting, and that was the point. He's also going with this low people. He's eating with them, and the Brahmanas really ashamed what he's doing, or not ashamed, but very surprised or kind of disturbed what he's doing. And then Lord Gauranga was telling him the whole thing about sentimental personalities, and that one should not criticize when one does not know what it is. And then he said, it's good, you came to me and you're asking me. So now I send you back to Navadvip, and you will inform everyone about the glories of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So he was doing good preaching there in Navadvip when he came back. But he had all these concerns.
Yeah.
Why this, why that, why that.
And Jesus Christ did the same here in this.
Yeah.
He did the same thing.
And Prabhupada also, being a Senapati Bhakta of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, he had this special passion. So he left India to preach the topmost devotional principles in the West, where it was like almost impossible to preach the such things. And all our acharyas had this dream. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written his vision. I look forward to the day when the French and the German and the British and all of these will come to Mayapur, and they will all unitedly chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and say Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari, and which has Prabhupada made it true. Now, if you go to Mayapur, people from more than 50-60 countries, they live there, they do kirtan. Yeah. So yes, the next one is 9.18. Battery. Okay.
Do you want
Thank
charger?
you.
It's okay.
You have charger?
I have a charger.
Here is the.
Okay, I'll read this one. While he was saying this, a synagogue leader came and knelt before him and said, "My daughter has just died, but come and put your hand on her and she will live." Jesus got up and went with him, and so did his disciples. Just then, a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, if I only touch his cloak, I will be healed. Jesus turned and saw her. "Take heart, daughter," he said, "your faith has healed you." And the woman was healed at that moment.
Strong faith.
Strong faith. Okay. Yeah, there's in our tradition about faith, we have these stories, once Vibhishan sent few people from Lanka to the other side to convey some message to Lord Ram. And he gave them some pieces of paper. They said, "How will we go?" He said, "Just walk on the ocean." And they said, "How can we walk on the ocean?" He said, "I'm giving you these pieces of paper. There is some magic in it. So if you just keep holding it and keep walking, you will cross the ocean." And they started traveling on the midway. They said, "What is this in this paper? Let us see." And they opened it, and it was written Ram. So they thought, what foolishness, this Ram is, they just threw, one of them had the faith. The one who threw was immediately drowned in the ocean. So if we have faith in the holy name, we will be delivered from the ocean. Okay, 9.35. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and illness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field." Any thoughts? I remember this, Lord Chaitanya said, I think, that I want to distribute the love of Godhead to the whole world, but how much can I do? I only have 2 hands. I want to distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. I only have 2 hands. Come, join me, help me. It was it Lord Chaitanya?
I am the only gardener.
Yeah.
And I have so many fruits. How can I give?
Yeah. So he's inviting everybody to help share love of Krishna to everybody else. So we are all like we announced about this book distribution, that we want to distribute books, and you are most welcome to contribute.
Can you read that verse once?
Okay, I'll read the one which is Jesus said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few." The same thing that Lord Chaitanya said. There's so many fruits I want to distribute of love of God, but I need help. So let everybody, of course he is Krishna himself, he can do everything himself, but he wants us to be involved in sharing Krishna consciousness with others. And there's a great pleasure in that also. And Prabhupada gave one of his disciples the name Bhavanand, and he asked Prabhupada, "Why did you give me the name Bhavanand?" Bhav means material world and Anand means pleasure. So what is this pleasure in the material world? Why did you give me this name? And Prabhupada said, there is only one pleasure in the material world, which is the joy of sharing Krishna with others. So you should experience that joy. That's why I gave you that name. So that.
I have a question. One of my cousin, brother or friend, they are in some trouble, materialistic or some family or financial problems, and then when I try to help them, suggest that you take name Krishna or Ram or whatever, and then he will come to help you. In a way, I'm trying to share the understanding or the connection that I have with Krishna to them, and then what should be my response when if they are not feeling that connection, and then they try to mock me or mock Krishna sometimes. Then or my Guru Bhagwan, then I feel that this is not something I should do. Don't share it with who doesn't deserve.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the 9th offense to the holy name. To preach the glories of the holy name to faithless people. Is the 9th offense? Or 10th of 9th offense? There are 10 offenses to the holy name given in Padma Puran. One of the offenses is if you preach to somebody who will not value that knowledge, they will make offenses.
Yeah.
So better we avoid them.
Yeah.
But
offenses not only to me, that is okay, but
to Krishna and to
Krishna
Guru
or to my Guru, or then I cannot.
Yeah. We should avoid such people.
But there is also one verse in Bhagavad Gita at the end.
I should not agitate the mind of
the faithless.
Yeah.
But is it not some education of the people? It will take time for them to understand.
Yeah, there are different ways we can share Krishna with the people. If somebody is not willing to hear philosophy, give them prasad. That is also
education in different ways. Maybe some help you do to them. Then they start listening to your words in a much better way.
Exactly.
So there can be different ways of it. Not at the first sight we can say somebody is not. So there may be different ways of educating.
Yeah, it's an art to open the heart of
maybe
people.
help them financially, and then they will listen to you.
Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he said that you should always preach, and sometimes you can even speak.
Yeah. Preaching is not just about saying.
Yeah.
The way we behave, many things transform the hearts of people. I remember first time I took my sister to Mayapur. She went to this temple of Rajapur, there is this temple of Simantini Devi, who is an incarnation of Parvati. She is Parvati herself. She is doing tapasya to get darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And so Lord Chaitanya is not different from Krishna, but most Indians don't know that because they have not heard of this avatar of Krishna, many of them. So she was like making fun, Now this is too much. You made him also a god and bigger than Parvati, and like that. And I was praying to Lord Chaitanya to please forgive her and just tolerate her and like that. But few years down the line, now she is an initiated devotee. She is praying to Lord Chaitanya every day. So it took a long time and maybe some surgery, something to bring her to that level. But it may not be just speaking. Many things. Help them when they need, by the character, by giving them prasad.
Different parts.
Many
Books.
things. Books also, yeah. Sometimes they don't want to listen from us, but if we give
let
them
them
some
read.
book or lecture, then they take it more positive. But somehow we have to share Krishna.
Yes.
Some places Prabhupada went and he observed people are not open to philosophy. He said, just do kirtan and distribute prasad. Don't speak much philosophy here. So then we have 10.26.
10.26.
Yeah. 10.26. So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Okay, I'll read the previous one also. The student is not above the teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for students to be like their teachers and servants like their masters. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebul, I don't know what it means, how much more the members of his household? So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the roofs. I think it is inspiring to preach boldly. What do you think?
It
I'm
was
not
a little
sure.
bit cryptical.
Yeah. But the last one is like, what is told to you in dark, speak it in the light. What is whispered to you in the ear, proclaim from the roofs. Ramanujacharya did that.
Even though his guru said you can absolutely not tell this to anybody.
Yeah. Ramanujacharya's guru, he said, I will give you a secret mantra. If you recite this mantra every day, you will go to Vaikuntha at the end of life. But don't give it to anyone. Ramanujacharya immediately went to the roof of a building and started shouting the mantra to everybody. Come, listen. And his guru became so angry. He came to him and said, how can you do this? I said to you, keep it a secret. And he said, see, by doing this offense, I will go to hell. But by reciting this mantra, so many will be delivered. So it's okay if 100 people are delivered and one goes to hell, it's not a problem. And then seeing his compassion, his guru became impressed. And he said, you have actually understood the essence of my instruction.
Yeah, that's humility, really.
But he was bold to preach, yeah. Sometimes we are too afraid to share Krishna with others. But actually the world is very open to receive if we can present in the right way. So we have to go out, I started this student association in Stockholm University 2 years back. I was so afraid that this is an atheistic country, atheistic civilization. If they come to know I'm sharing spiritual stuff, they will shut me down. And 2 years down the line, recently we had this Gita festival in the university. 200 people attended. We are openly speaking about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. We had exhibition Bhagavad Gita in 38 languages. We are distributing. So people are open.
So you should have courage and proclaim.
Yeah, we have to have some courage to go. And Krishna will help.
Krishna will help. And devotees will also.
And Prabhupada, when he came to the West, Prabhupada said, if these people knew, like after few years of establishing Krishna Conscious Society, ISKCON, he said, if these people knew in the beginning why I came here, they would have killed me. But Prabhupada went in like a needle and came out like a plow. So, okay. 12.33. Okay, we are coming to conclusion soon. So, 12.33. Make a tree good and its fruit will be good, or make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad, for the tree is recognized by its fruit. This is something similar we read earlier also.
Yeah.
We go to 13.18. Listen then to what the parable of the shower means. When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path.
Once more.
When anyone hears the message about the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in their heart. This is the seed sown along the path. The seed falling on the rocky ground refers to someone who hears the word and at once receives it with joy. But since they have no root, they last only a short time. When trouble or persecution comes because of the word, they quickly fall away. So receptiveness.
Yeah, and God consciousness is not deeply enough rooted.
Yeah,
if it's more shallow, it can easily also go away.
Yeah. So we have to be receptive. So the same seed can fall on a rocky ground or on a fertile ground. On a rocky ground, it has no effect. On a fertile ground, it grows like a tree. So we have to make our heart fertile enough and take the roots deep down, so the storms can't take away easily our devotion to God. So if we are on the surface, we will be easily swayed away, Some problem comes, what is the use of this doing bhakti to Krishna if he is giving me these problems in life? Let me just go away.
Or some come to Krishna consciousness because of their suffering. And when the suffering is gone, then they leave.
Yeah, now I'm happy, now I don't need Krishna anymore. I think Sweden is in that phase now. At one time it was a highly religious country, and then they became rich and comfortable, and now they think we don't need God. So they have become atheists. So the seed has to go really deep.
There is this anecdote that one man is driving and he's searching for parking. He's praying to God, oh God, please help me to find the parking. Please help me to find the parking. And he's like, oh no, thank you. I found myself.
So arrogant.
Then we'll come to 18. 18. Yeah, I'll read the... At that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? He called a little child to him and placed the child among them. And he said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of God.
That's a very famous verse.
Yeah. We have to be simple like a child.
They said that Srila Prabhupada was childlike.
Yeah.
He was not childish, but he was childlike.
Yeah. And also, Prabhupada said we have to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra like a child is crying for the mother. So when a child cries for the mother, like really in need of the mother, the mother can understand it. Like mother can understand now the child is really crying or when the child is fake cry. So we have to really cry, and then Krishna will listen.
It's actually applicable on any kind of devotional service.
Yeah.
I should always feel like helpless and crying.
Yeah.
He said, crying school said
Yeah.
one of our great devotees in ISKCON,
Gaur Maharaj.
Govinda.
Yes. Somewhere I heard it takes buckets of tears to get drops of Krishna's mercy. So we have to cry. Cry means intensely call out. Okay. If we don't cry like that, we will cry anyway, but due to Maya. Okay, last one. Okay, no, second last, 18.11. Oh no, okay, last one, 18.15. If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take one or two others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church, and if they refuse to listen even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. What does that mean? If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault. Dealing with sin in the church. The title is in the church. So which means if somebody does a mistake, first go and talk to them personally. Don't broadcast it everywhere like nowadays on Facebook and people just post all these things.
I could connect it to Arjun's dilemma when in the middle of the war ground and he is afraid that all these Kauravas are my brothers and sisters and they have done all their sins, but how can I kill them? So similar, if at the end this verse says like behave like a tax collector or maybe kind of punish them even though they are your family members.
Yeah, this is about some very terrible mistake which has been done in the church or in the temple or something like that. Then he says first go and talk to them and see if they can correct. If not, then you go to the other 2-3 other people and make a testimony and try to let it work. If it still doesn't work, then and if you treat them as you would do as a tax collector. Again, truly I tell you that if 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For there 2 or 3 gather in my name, and there am I with them. Okay, I don't fully understand this part.
No.
But what I can appreciate is, don't broadcast it right away. First go and talk to the person and see if it can work out. If it doesn't work out, go step by step.
Try your best to convince them to not do that sin, but if it doesn't help, then don't hesitate to go in a war with them.
Like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati
And
Thakur
don't
had this.
broadcast, as you said. And don't broadcast it.
Yeah.
Even Prabhupada said that there was some disciple who fell down, and the other disciples started to gossip about this and broadcasting it, and he said, don't do it because now he cannot come back.
Yeah.
Now his reputation is ruined or something.
So there's a dignified way of dealing with it.
Lord Balaram, he had another method. He came there and he was trying to make some peace. But they were very arrogant. And then Lord Balaram, he took his plow and he drove the whole town, Hastinapur, down to the water, and then they got very clear in their mind.
Yeah.
That was more than the tax collector.
Yeah.
I think here Tapas Prabhu's notes I have like slight notes, and in this verse he says this is the procedure of correction. So if you want to correct somebody who's doing mistakes, then this is how you go ahead.
Step by step.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens that like if we come from a background where we enjoy gossiping, then the same thing comes in devotional community. And something wrong somebody does and we just broadcast and gossip and enjoy doing that, but that's not the way of dealing with it. And nowadays Facebook and all this is the ultimate gossiper, so people are just posting, you know, even within one institution they may post like this leader they did like this and did this mistake and did like that and this.
Yeah, now it's flourishing like anything.
And also people are making movies on some mistakes which happened in ISKCON 40 years back. They are recalling it now and still making big movies out of it. I mean, it's important to deal with it, but there's a different thing to enjoy the gossiping, which is very harmful for spiritual life. So yeah, we'll end here. Of course, there are many more principles. Thank you so much.
There's one I like very much. It is you see the thin little nail in your brother's eye, but you don't see the tree in your own eye.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like that, but
yeah, he says the sieve is finding fault with the needle. Like a sieve has hundreds of holes, and it finds faults with the needle which has one hole. So it can happen like we have so many problems ourselves, but we see the fault in somebody else who has one small problem.
Yeah, and in fact with the eye, you see in your brother's eye, you see the little nail or whatever, but you don't see the big tree in your own eye.
Yeah.
Whatever he used another word, but it's exactly.
One should not offend others, you know, and that's what they're doing. Openly and always, this is offensive.
Yeah.
And even you wake up yourself and feel, oh, that was wrong with me, or something. And maybe even ask forgiveness. But that thing will sit there very long time.
Yeah.
So it's very dangerous business. It's like when you get angry. The most hurt is going to myself, not to that person. Because Krishna will take care of that. We don't need to fight out things like that. I mean, unless it is something we can deal out together and come to an end and see.
Yeah, best course is if we have issue with somebody, just go and talk to them. If we can't do that, talk to the person who is authorized to deal with that. Not just go around and talk to everybody about it. And if it still doesn't work, then we can make, like he says, 2-3 testimonies or something like that. But yeah, we have to be careful about correction. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jesus Christ ki jai.
Tapas Prabhu ki jai. Shamdar Prabhu ki jai.